a bunch of all-stars. He has Etherling. He has a couple of other bomb cards. He has the 5-mana 4/4 when it comes into play. Detain all.
Lavinia.
Yeah, Lavinia.
Okay.
And he also has the Archon of Justice.
Okay. So both players here are underway. We have Jensen here starting off with a Rakdos Guildgate. Well, you see it is a Guildgate from Fornaro. And I think we're going to see a lot of Guildgates over the course of this weekend, correct?
Yes, we will, yeah. And most of them probably be in one player's deck if they decided to go the 5-color strategy. Otherwise, they'll be spread across, and most decks will have 2, 3, maybe even 4 Guildgates.
You know, what Huey's deck is trying to accomplish here as we take a look at it is, you know, he has a lot of Guildgates in his deck. He said he has 8 and 2 dual lands. He has a lot of the Gatekeepers and just super good mana, and one heck of a card there in a Kingpin's Pet. So, you know, what his deck can do, I mean, it can do a lot of things, and Kingpin's Pet was an all-star common back in Gatecrash Limited. Some would say probably the best Orzhov common, as you see a Nivix Guildmage here as well.
Yeah, super strong card for William Jensen. Being able to extort, buy some time, gain some life is what you want to do, especially in a 5-color deck, so you're able to have time to play all your powerful spells, take control of the game, and win. So you see William attack for 2 in the air, knocking Chris down to 18 life, and let's see if William has a follow-up play. On the other hand, he looks to be... Alright, there it is, he does. He has a Cluestone. So he's pretty much ramping up his mana and making sure he has all colors that he needs to have to be able to cast every spell in his deck. Chris just seems to be kind of a 6 mountains, 6 plains, 1 island type deck. So we'll see how that goes.
So Nivix Guildmage just comes across and just passes the turn back. So we might see Nivix Guildmage activation. Alternatively, there's Annihilating Fire in Ferrano's hand right now as well. So he definitely has some options available. Maybe he's looking for lands. And we're going to see Annihilating Fire attempt to take down this Kingpin's Pet.
Yep, there's the Annihilating Fire. It looks like maybe these players misregistered their land base, actually. So, yeah. 6 plains, 6 mountains, 1 island. Yeah, okay, I guess not.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the Guildgates. Is it Guildgate? Yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on here with the deck registration sheets, but we'll just try to follow on the camera instead.
One more time.
Alright, so let's see what Chris decides to do here.
In saw Selesnya Charm save that Kingpin's Pet from dying. The +2/+2 mode on that.
Yes, for sure. Alright, yeah. These deck lists aren't helping at all.
Sure.
So.
So here comes the Guildmage, in for 2. I'm going to follow up there of a Scorchwalker. Maybe we're going to see the Blood Rush on that. We are. So Scorchwalker is going to come up, +5/+1 there. Attack for 7, and we're going to fire that up with a True Fire Paladin as well. So True Fire Paladin, a bomb uncommon from Gatecrash as well. And while you know you don't have a ton of red and white mana when you're 3 colors like this, you still can threaten the +2/+0 activation. It still has Vigilance, and you know you can still threaten the First Strike as well. So there's a lot that card can do, even though it's not as great as it was in just a pure Boros deck. Still pretty powerful here.
Definitely, definitely. So he's just trying to put as much damage as he could onto Huey, onto William Jensen, and see what happens. And they're just taking their time here, figuring out what's the best line of play, what can I do. So for Nero, looks to be in decent shape right now.
Well, he's going to start his turn. He's going to come across the Kingpin's Pit in the air. He's going to knock Fornaro down to 11. We'll see what kind of follow-up he has. If he wants to extort this turn, if he wants to just use all 6 mana, he's going to use all 6 mana here. It looks like for a large Nimbus Swimmer.
Yep.
So Nimbus Swimmer we'll bring up on the screen for you guys as well. Simic Uncommon, X Blue-Green. I like to call it the old Flyer Ball. Gets 4 +1/+1 counters on it, so he's got a 4/4 flyer to come out with.
And Fornaro looks to be, you know, short on white mana again, like you were saying before, but all he really needs is 1 right here because it could force a trade with William Jensen's swimmer. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
And you see in Fornaro's hand right now, he has a Trader's Blood at the ready, a couple other cards. You know, you might be considering, you know, I kind of want to do the Trader's Blood plus fork it with the Nivix Guildmage, but I'm a little bit short on mana right now.
Can he just win the game if he has Trader's Blood? Isn't it?
He takes the flyer. It's going to get +2.
Yeah, so 6, 10, 12.
7, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, yeah, it would actually be 12. So,
yeah, so
I guess we'll have to see if he sees the kill here.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the life totals are correct, which I think they are, Fornaro has lethal on board.
A quick update, in one of the other players in this match, Reduke is up a game right now over Averell. So you see the players consulting with each other. Do I go for this? Do I not? As Fornaro's wondering to himself, is this actually good enough to get the kill right now?
I mean, I think he should go for it as long as life totals are correct.
Yeah,
it's a free win right here.
Yeah, so he takes the Nimbus Swimmer, and he's actually not going to use the Trader's Blood. So that's a little bit surprising right there.
Yeah, this
maybe he just doesn't. Maybe he just doesn't see the play that it's enough to kill.
I believe the True Fire Paladin also has Vigilance.
Yeah, so yeah, that definitely has Vigilance. So that's not going to tap to attack. They'll fix that momentarily.
Yeah, it seems maybe Fornaro is unfamiliar with a lot of the cards.
Yeah. So
there's a True Fire Paladin brought up on screen. Vigilance gets +2/+0 until end of turn, or can gain first strike until end of turn.
So Jensen looks like he's. I mean, it feels like he's content to take the damage here. You see a little bit of hand shrugging. You know, do I want to block with my Nimbus Swimmer? Do I not want to block with it? You know, what's my plan this turn?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he declared a block onto the Guild Mage. That's what it seems like to me. Let's see what Fornaro has. Does he have the Barbed Lightning in his hand?
You see, there's a split card over there.
Toil and Trouble?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a split card in his hand. You know, we still believe he has that Trader's Blood as you see him pull that to the front. And then a mystery card, it looks like there.
Yeah, pretty sure
might be Punish the Enemy, but not 100% sure.
Okay.
Either way, the Nimbus Guild Mage does get blocked by the Nimbus Swimmer. Damage is going to resolve. True Fire Paladin is going to get in for 2, knock Jensen down to 10. And now the follow-up is going to be a Punish the Enemy.
Yeah, Punish the Enemy, 3 damage to target player, 3 damage to target creature.
So that's going to finish off the Nimbus Swimmer and knock Jensen down to 7.
7. But Fornaro didn't have to do any of these plays since he had went on board.
Yeah.
But decided to go against it.
So Huey's going to draw a card this turn.
Yeah.
Kingpin's Pet versus True Fire Paladin right now. See if Huey has a bit of a follow-up here, as he does have 2 Guild Gates in play. So if he does have any Gatekeepers, they will be active right now. He's going to use that Simic Clue Stone to provide some mana, figuring out how he wants to tap his mana. He actually has 3 Guild Gates in play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure William Jensen has 2 of the green Gatekeepers, which will allow him to gain back 7 life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now it looks like we're going to see Unflinching Courage with an Extort trigger here from Huey. Going to make that Kingpin's Pet into a 4/4 Trampling Lifelinker in the air. Huey's going to gain 1 from the Extort, 4 from the damage. Going to put himself in a much more healthy life total, move himself up to 12.
But if it is a Trader's Instinct, which we think it is, again, Fornaro could use it and could deal 6, this time only 10 damage.
Yeah, so only 10 damage this turn, as Fornaro for the turn drew a Street Spasm.
Street Spasm card from Return to Ravnica. Not as good as Bonfire, but not bad.
Few things are.
Yeah, few things are.
And for the problem here with the Street Spasm is you guys do see that on the screen. X damage start creature without flying.
Okay.
The Kingpin's Pet is in the air right now, so can't shoot down that thing, and that's the biggest threat right now for Fornaro.
Sure. So let's see what Fornaro decides to do.
So now you see the Trader's Instinct.
Yeah, but it's just a turn late.
Yeah.
So this would be 6, 8, yeah, only 10 damage again.
So Trader's Instinct takes the Kingpin Pet. Across comes the True Fire Paladin with a +2/+0 activation and the Kingpin's Pet. So Fornaro is going to deal Jensen 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bit Huey down to 2. He's also going to gain 4 life there.
Sure.
Because it is lifelink now.
Yep.
So the wording on that card being different now certainly does help Fornaro in this situation.
But, I mean, this game looks really good for William Jensen.
Yep.
Looks really good for him. Let's see what he decides to play this turn. So again, Huey has a bunch of Guild Gates. He has the 4/4 Flying Lifelinker that also has Extort in the form of Kingpin's Pet. And we'll see what he decides to do. So it looks like he wants to take a look at Fornaro's graveyard. Maybe just ask him to fix his graveyard.
Yep.
So a lot of things going on. See, the thing about Limited compared to Standard is, Limited, lots of times players are not familiar with some of the cards, especially some of the players who don't play Limited. When you play Standard, you know, you're familiar with the deck, you know all the cards, you know the interactions. But limited, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more to know. You have to know all of the tricks in the format. Most of the creatures, you need to know what things have haste, what things don't, what kind of combat tricks there are, especially with how this format is, with how many keyword abilities there are. Not only do you, in most limited formats, you just have to know, creatures, instant sorceries, what kind of tricks, maybe the creatures with haste, but now it's like, now you have to worry about Blood Rush.
Oh, yeah.
That's a keyword you have to worry about. Cards with Overload. There's a lot of different things that you have to take into account right now. This is going to be an extremely, extremely complex limited format, as you're going to see Huey play the Blue Gatekeeper here.
Which will allow him to draw a card.
Yep.
And it's also a 2/4 body, which is definitely relevant for 4 mana. And the reason why he tapped 5 mana, the extra mana is spent on the Extort for Kingpin's Bet. And William Jensen will get in for 4 in the air. He'll gain 4.
Oh, so he's going to gain 5 total this turn and push his life total up to 7 overall.
And Fornaro will fall. And it looks like Fornaro really is going to need a really good draw. I'm not sure what he could rip here. Just the Steam Vent's not going to do it. Street Spasm can't really do anything here. Yeah,
I mean, Street Spasm doesn't beat the problem on the board. Yes, it can take care of the Opal Lake Gatekeepers, which is great, but that Kingpin's Pet in the air with the Unflinching Courage, he simply can't get that off the board at this juncture. Now, he's not facing lethal next turn, it looks like, unless there's multiple Extort triggers, but right now he is in a world of trouble, and it doesn't look like he has very many ways to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and if Fornaro doesn't decide to kill the Gatekeeper, and when it just has any removal spell, he could go, okay, remove your 2/5 Paladin, Extort, attack for 7.
Yeah.
Or attack for 6, but the additional Extort is will be 7 damage. So definitely favorable for William Jensen, and he's probably happy about the fact that Reed won game 1.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at a team tournament, you're always kind of checking on your teammates, see how they're doing, as you're going to see Street Spasm get cast here. Fornaro going to tap some mana, figure out how much he wants to do this for. I can't imagine anything less than 4. He is going to take care of that Gatekeeper, so that's got to go bye-bye.
Okay.
Truefire Paladin going to come in here, it looks like, with a little bit of Vigilance Beatdown, Steam Vents, and no attack.
Was there no attack there?
Yeah, it looks like no attack at all.
Why would you not attack?
It's a good question.
This is kind of confusing, but we'll there's no life total change.
Yeah.
So it just looks like maybe
never saw him reach for the Truefire Paladin at all. Maybe just a bit of a misstep on Fornaro's end.
Yeah. All right. So William Jensen draws the split card. It is the Ready and Willing, I think he drew. Yeah. So this will allow him to gain lifelink, so he gain more life to get out of any burn rage whatsoever. Yeah,
and the thing right now for Huey is he just wants to make sure that, as you said, don't get burned out of this game. A card like Explosive Impact or what have you. Just he does have the creature in play with the Unflinching Courage, so he's probably going to be able to push himself out of that damage range where a card like Explosive Impact or some sort of Fireball can kill him. But that's his primary concern right now. As Trader's Instinct has already been cast, so he doesn't really. He probably is thinking to himself, he doesn't have to worry about another threaten type effect. He just wants to get the board stabilized, as he's going to play the new green glider here and pass the turn back.
Yes. All right. So Fornaro will draw, and it looks like I can't really see what he has drawn here, but I can't imagine a card that will save him.
And that's the Maze's Behemoth that he would
Mizzium Mortars would be okay.
Yeah, it would take Mizzium Mortars with Overload to get him out of that situation.
Yeah, and he probably still end up losing that game.
Yeah. So you guys see Maze's Behemoth on the screen while both players are going to be moving along to the sideboard here. William Jensen going to be up a game. We do know as well that Reed Duke is currently up a game. Not sure on the Turtenwald Peralta match, but we'll find out when we can.
Yeah. We'll be able to switch back and forth, or will they stay on?
Yeah, we can cut back and forth in between matches, which is pretty cool.
Good.
You guys do see, you see us move over to Turtenwald versus Peralta now. Turtenwald, we cut into a Stealer's Secrets. You see a couple Night Tokens of Vigilance, a Security Blockade. You walk into a pretty gummed up board position here, which is pretty typical for a limited game.
Yeah. So Owen's board just Windrake, 2 tokens, and a Stealer of Secrets. The only problem is all those guys actually have -1, -0, so they're actually smaller than they look.
Yeah.
And they're already small. So this game looks pretty bad for Owen. I can't really see him pulling out of this one, since I know his deck list and I know he doesn't have Supreme Verdict or Strix's Revelation. So it's going to take a bunch of really good draws for Owen to pull out of it. So William Jensen is up a game, Reed Duke is up a game, and it looks like Owen is still in game 1.
Yeah, Owen's still in game 1 here against Peralta. You see Haunter of Night Vale. That's the creature that's giving the -1/-1 to Owen's creatures, the Cumberstone on wheels. You also see a Void Wielder out there. Now you're going to see a Viscapa Guildmage plus a Tithe Drinker activation. The Extort on the Tithe Drinker. Going to drain Owen a little bit, gain Peralta a little bit of life here. You also see that Death Pact Angel that's currently being targeted by Agoraphobia from Owen. So, you know, that's one of the few ways to take care of Death Pact Angel, but it is doing a decent job right now.
Yes. There's not many ways to deal with that, just because it allows to make a token which allows it to come back next turn and over again.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things about Death Pact Angel is, you know, it was kind of controversial in its limited format. A lot of people saying that, you know, Gate Crash, excuse me, you know, too fast to be able to play a 6-mana spell like Death Pact Angel, no matter how good it is. But with the addition of Dragon's Manes, the format has certainly slowed down.
Yes, definitely.
With all of the gates.
Yeah.
And the gatekeepers, that Death Pact Angel is now a bomb.
Oh yeah,
without question.
Yeah, for sure. And as you can see, the board does look really complex, and it actually is. But the whole thing is that Owen's guys just aren't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, there don't look to be any good attacks here. Owen looks like what's happening here, which is unsurprising because we see this quite a bit, is Extort taking over the game.
Yep.
You know, you get yourself in a nice board stall here. You get an Extort creature, your opponent does not, and you're able to just Extort and finish them off.
Yeah, Owen has a couple of Extort guys in his deck, Syndicate of Tides, what have you, but you know, when you're playing with Extort, you really want to be Black-White.
Yeah.
You want to be Orzhov.
You know, you may be looking at security blockade there on Owen's planes and saying, well, why isn't he activating that to prevent the Extort? But the Extort is loss of life.
Yep.
Security blockade prevents a damage, so that's not going to work the way that Owen would like it to.
Exactly.
As Owen's going to tap his 5 mana here. He's going to cast Labyrinth on the 10th. Peralta's going to take a look at it. We'll bring Labyrinth up on the screen for you so you can see exactly what this guild champion does do.
Yeah, 5 mana rare, protection from red, 4/4, and when he enters the battlefield, each non-land permanent your opponent controls with converted mana at 4 or less becomes detained.
Yep.
So pretty much for one turn, he can't attack, he can't block, he can't use any activated abilities.
So you see Peralta move over the creatures that can be detained. Now you see a new prop Guildmage, which can also do some detaining here. So Owen's trying to make a little bit of headway here. It's going to tap a little more mana, get the Stealer Secrets flying, play a Plains, put this up in the air, and get some damage across here.
Yeah, why not? The Death Pact Angel will block the Stealer Seekers, preventing Owen from drawing a card.
Yep.
Owen will get in for 2 points of damage.
Yep. The Knight will deal 1 because of the Cumberstone effect, as will the Winddrake.
Yep.
Now Owen will pass the turn back. He's tapped out, but he's detained a ton of creatures.
Yep.
And so he doesn't have to worry about a counterattack taking place here, as well as a couple activations off of those cards, like that Viscapa Guildmage.
Exactly.
Because it has been detained.
Yeah, with Viscapa Guildmage, is such a powerful card. The game goes long, you can just take control, give one guy lifelink, give another guy lifelink, use the second ability, drain your opponent, and that would pretty much just be the game over.
So now Peralta's going to draw his card this turn. Again, all the creatures near the top of the screen are mostly detained outside of, excuse me, that Haunter of Nightvale.
Sure.
Also, the Void Wielder is not detained, nor is the Death Pact Angel. Well, the Death Pact Angel does have Agoraphobia on it. So while it can quote unquote do some things, not very many things.
Exactly. Yeah, it's sort of detained in its own way.
Yeah.
And Owen is just pointing out the fact that he can't use the Guildmage's ability.
Do the Labyrinth of the 10th detain? There will be no Guildmage activation here.
Not sure. All
So now we're going to see a Mortar Strider. You're going to see an Extort there from the Tithe Drinker. That's where you see Peralta move that Swamp Tap towards the bottom. Peralta going up to 19. Turtenwald going to go down to 3.
Yeah, Mortar Strider not the strongest card. Kind of some utility there, especially when you have Extort in your deck.
Yeah.
So
I'm interested to see if that card gets better with the new format.
You think so?
Yeah. Because the format's a little bit slower. You know, there are some grindy things that you can probably do with that card that I'm certainly not thinking of right now. But when I think of a slower format and a 3-mana 1/1 that comes back when it dies, it feels like there's probably some room for abuse there.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe something with Corpse Blockade, although that was already Gate Crash. But you know, maybe some small combos, Launch Party.
Yep.
Why not? Oh, you know what? You could actually use the black-green Guildmage.
There you go.
You know, it's expensive.
I mean, if the game's grind out long enough, and you know, if this game is any indication of what the format looks like, when you do get into board stalls, and it's not like, you know, Sky Knight Legionnaire and Battalion, and you're dead already.
Yeah.
You know, if we're playing some good, honest games of Magic, then I think that, you know, a combo like that,
it's better than nothing.
It's realistic.
There, right before we got a good shot of the team, Reed, Owen, and William.
Yep.
So right now, still no team member has taken a win yet. So Reed won game 1, William Jensen won game 1, and Owen is still in the first game. All right, let's see what Peralta decides to do here. He's going to use the activation on the Viscopa Guild Mage once. He's going to use the activation on the Guild Mage once again, I believe. So it looks like he's using 2 activations on it. Okay, so this just in, Reed Duke actually won 2 games to 0. So William Jensen, Owen Turtenwald, and Reed Duke, they're up one match to 0, 1 game to 0, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need to get one more win out here, as you see the Salt Griffin there from Turtenwald.
And Owen's board, you know, got slightly better, but it's still, Owen's still not in a good shape at all.
I mean, the difficult thing here is that he's in this you know, situation where his creatures all have -1/-0. You know, he can't really break through damage, and you know, he does have the new Prof Guild Mage, but you know, detaining a lot of things in a turn. I mean, it's 5 mana to detain something. That's a lot.
Yes.
You know, so he can't really break through and get any damage through. And you know, while it's stuck in this stalemate, all Peralta needs to do is draw a couple more spells.
Yeah, and
because of the Tithe Drinker, and Extort will clear the way.
yes, and
That's all that it takes.
And when he's drawing 2 cards a turn, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know. So sort of like the fake Dark Confidant.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not as good as Dark Confidant, but again, not much is.
So there you see Peralta taking a look at the security blockade from Owen, saying exactly what does this do, and it does prevent the damage. Now, you know, a play that you know that Peralta could have made is, you know, send in that Suicide Nimbus Strider,
yes,
or Morbid Strider, excuse me, to get a damage across, because if it gets blocked, he just gets it back and extorts. But security blockade is going to stop that plan. As Owen takes a look at the card he's drawn for the turn, and it's quite a good one.
It's Etherling.
It is.
Yeah. It might be good enough.
Yeah, now, I don't know if that can save him, but if there's one card that can get you out of a sticky situation, it is certainly Etherling. But you're going to see Owen use a new Prof Guild Mage. He's going to attempt to detain the Viscopa Guild Mage. And Peralta's going to activate one of those keyboard abilities. He's going to activate, it looks like, another one.
Sure. I mean, he's probably just going to sink in all his mana.
Yep.
And do it to each one of his guys.
Another Strider. Owen's going to tap a bunch of mana here. Going to slam down a Etherling.
And Owen's going to be tapped out, and he'll pass the turn.
Yep.
Let's see if Peralta draws anything.
So again, now that new Prof Guild Mage has detained the Viscopa Guild Mage, detain lasts for Peralta's entire turn.
Yes.
So there cannot be any shenanigans with the Guild Mage this turn that can take place. So Peralta needs to, again, just keep drawing spells. Now, one thing that we do see among those lands down there, Gerard, it makes me wonder if there's a Clue Stone down there.
There is.
Because it feels like there's a Clue Stone. He's hiding it pretty well down there.
He played the Clue Stone earlier in the game,
Yeah.
and I think it's time just to sacrifice the Clue Stone.
Yeah, he's got plenty of lands in play. He can draw himself a new card, look for another Extort creature. As here comes the Strider here. Owen, because he tapped the security blockade,
Yep.
he can't prevent the damage, so the Strider's kind of trying to free roll here. Either you're going to take the one from this, or it's going to come back to my hand when it dies, and I'm going to extort you and actually gain a life.
Exactly.
So you see the 1/2 Knight token get in front of it. Mortar Strider dies, comes back to Peralta's hand. Now you'll see an extort trigger from the Tithe Drinker. Gonna knock Turtenwald down at 2, Peralta up to 19. And that is an Orzhov Cluestone. There's a Chromatic Lantern, so if color was ever an issue, it's not anymore.
Yeah. All right, so he just has to sack that Cluestone, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that he's not sacking the Cluestone on there. I mean, you can tell, and this happens a lot in Limited, right?
Okay.
You get into these crazy board positions where your focus is on so many things. Now, you have to believe that Peralta's focus right now is on that Aetherling and that new Prof Guild Mage, thinking, all right, I need to not lose to that Aetherling. That's the most important thing for me right now. And by taking a look at that the entire time, he's probably forgetting that, hey, I've got a Cluestone down here that I can actually sacrifice to get another card, to get the opportunity, another Extort trigger.
Yeah. So Owen, as you can see, separating his mana, figuring out, okay, what can I do, what can I not do? I'm going to try to get him with Etherling. How many times can I use it? You know, he also has the Guild Mage that he always has to lock down his opponent's Guild Mage with. So there's a lot going on here. It's super confusing, but you could tell that Owen's taking his time and trying to think of all possibilities. You know, what can my opponent draw? What can I draw? You know, is there any way I can pull out of this game?
You know, in this situation where Owen is at 1, Peralta's at 20, You know, if you're Owen, you're trying to think of any card in your deck that you can draw to get yourself out of the situation. What are my outs? What can I do? You know, do I even want to show my opponent any more cards? Do I have the opportunity to even win this game here? There are a lot of things that are running through his head, because conceivably you can make the argument of, why would you even show me Aetherling? You're not going to win anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, if Peralta has a removal spell in his deck, let's say like a Grizzly Spectacle, he might try to save that and try to catch a Aetherling. As you're going to see a Detain activation here from the New Prop Guildmage, and again, Peralta looks like he's going to activate the Vizcapa Guildmage a bunch again to give some of his guys lifelink.
Yeah, definitely interesting here. Once again, he's doing the same activation. And yeah, this game, I mean, there's only 25 minutes left in the round, so you have to be careful with that time as well.
Yeah, I mean, drawn out limited games do happen. Typically, limited games do go a little bit quicker, as you're going to see Owen activate the ability on an Aetherling to give it unblockable. Come across here, he's going to get some damage through it. You see the +1/-1 ability being activated here multiple times by Turtenwald. He's also accounting for that Haunter of Night Veil, the -1/-1, but he does want to get some damage through, because again, he does need to actually try to win the game.
Exactly.
The longer he sits, the better chance that Peralta has the opportunity.
So Peralta draws 2 cards this turn once again.
Yep, because that is a Blood Scrivener in play, in case you guys are wondering what that is. Empty-handed. Here's a Dutiful Throw. There's an Extort activation, and that's Turtenwald picking up his cards. So both players are going to return their cards, pick up everything, and at the end of the day, we do have Peralta up a game here over Turtenwald.
Okay, now let's go back to William Jensen. As you see, Reed actually moved his chair because he wants to sit between William and Owen right now.
Yep.
So if they have a question, the way the rules work in Team Sealed is that you could ask your teammate.
Yep. And part of working in a team, as we do cut over here to Jensen plus Fornaro, is the ability to work together. You know, you guys might be great Magic players,
yeah.
You know, but if you don't have that chemistry, that team chemistry, you can certainly have some issues in a team tournament.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yeah, you guys don't want to argue with each other. And you want to agree on card evaluations. You want to agree on plays. And you know, during a game, if you're arguing, you might give something away. It's like, oh, play this, destroy his team. Now your opponent obviously knows you have a Supreme Verdict. Or don't play this because you want to do this. So
you don't want to give away any free information. As we do get the life totals updated here, 14 for Fornaro, 5 for Jensen, as he is going to play a Hold the Gates here. You see Fornaro taking a look at Hold the Gates.
Hold the Gates, 3-mana enchantment. All your creatures gain vigilance no matter what.
Yep.
Then for each gate you control, it gets +0/+1. So sometimes, you know, you're giving your guys +0/+4 and vigilance. It's really tough for them to ever attack you.
It looks a lot better in this format, you know, in its previous format, a little too slow, a little too cute in that format. But this one, where there's a Guild Gate or a land in every pack in Dragon's Maze, as you're going to see Jensen cast a Nimbus Swimmer here, looks like for 2.
Yeah, only
Hold the Gates might be a little bit more realistic now.
Yes, but the Swimmer is 1, 2, 3, really a 2/6, I believe.
2/6 flyer with vigilance, attempting to hold down the fort.
Yeah, it might be tough for Fornaro to break through here.
So Huey attacks in with the Knight token. Fornaro just does block there, so he's going to draw a card. He draws 8. He has a Mountain in his hand. He already has, it looks like, a Street Spasm in his hand as well.
Yeah, so Fornaro takes 2 damage there. William allowed to attack with both his guys because of the vigilance. He just has to point, and, you know, I attack. That's it.
Kind of a free roll. I mean, his guys, Fornaro's creatures can't kill Jensen's in combat.
Exactly.
And so, okay, this is actually a Blister Stick Shaman. Okay, so he's going to discard a card, he's going to discard his Mountain and draw a card.
Yeah, Machina Racketeer comes down for Fornaro. Just a 3-mana 2/1 reprint, like Cedric was saying. You know, cycles in your deck. It's a fine card. Usually makes your deck. So it does still look like Fornaro cannot deal those last 5 points of damage. That Guild Mage will help. You know, the Guild Mage will allow Fornaro to dig through his deck.
Yep.
It will allow him to find the cards he needs, and if he does draw a powerful instant or sorceries, he has an ability to be able to copy it.
Yep. You see Racketeer on the screen for you guys there. A card, again, that didn't see a ton of play in its original format.
It's like
but
medium,
Yeah, kind of medium. You weren't thrilled to have it in your deck.
Yeah, I definitely cut it a bunch of times. So,
but it may have gotten a little bit better in this format.
Yeah, the games are slower. You know, it's kind of like the reverse Sin Collector. You know, 3-mana 2/1, 3-mana 2/1. You know, has a good ability. Sin Collector way more powerful.
Yeah,
but
I would agree.
You know, just for red, what can you do? Sometimes red gets the shaft.
Oftentimes.
Yeah.
Red gets the shaft. You do see in Jensen's graveyard right now, he does have a Merciless Eviction over there in the graveyard.
Yes.
and it looks like he may have already pulled the trigger on that card. Don't know if he had a discard or something like that. Maybe it got countered, not really sure. But it's in the graveyard and not going to be able to be used, looks like, for the rest of this game. And so now Jensen's just going to tap all of his guys here and say, hey, my Vigilance guys are attacking. Block as you choose. I've got a bunch of mana available, so blocks here could be very, very bad for you.
Yeah, it looks like he probably got a 2-for-1 off it. There was a Keening Apparition, looks like he's removed from the game, and an Ash Zealot.
Well,
maybe there was also like an Eyes in the Skies that's in the graveyard, so he got those tokens as well.
Yep.
But it looks like he didn't get the max value, but maybe he had to because he was at a low life total.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's what happens sometimes. All right, so Fornaro will fall to 8 life. Jensen definitely, slowly taking control of this game.
Sacrifice a clue stone.
Yeah, that's definitely important. As you saw in the other game, the guy never sacrificed it.
Yeah, Peralta never ended up sacrificing it, and didn't need to. He was in a pretty overwhelming board position, but I think maybe if he does go back and watch this match or talk to his teammates will say, yeah, next time sack that clue stone so you can get the game over with a little bit earlier. And you do see a thrashing watchdog here from Jensen to keep building up the fort, as you see a Nivix Guildmage activation. Going to discard Steam Vents.
Oil in trouble. Will that do anything here?
I don't know. He's taking a look at the, Fornaro's taking a look at the board, considering his options with what this card can do for him.
He could copy it with the Guildmage.
Yeah, question is how good is that right now?
How many cards does William have in his hand? Not sure. All right, looks like maybe he has 2, maybe 3 cards.
He's got him sit down on the table right now, not wanting to give away any information.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely looks like a tight game. So we'll see how it progresses. Which side would you rather be on? Would you rather be playing the 3-color deck or the 5-color deck? What's more your style?
I mean, it really just depends on the cards that are in each one of the decks, honestly. I can't really tell if Fornaro's deck is, hyper aggressive, because you do see a card like Wojak Halberdier out there, and Frostburn Weird, which are some more aggressive cards. But at the same time, Frostburn Weird in a deck that does have at least 3 planes in it, that you're going to see Toil Trouble get cast. Looks like the Trouble half of that's going to get cast. It's tough to figure out what side you want to be on. I can't tell if that's a hyper-aggressive deck over there. I know Jensen's got this 5-color Guildgate heavy deck, which is a lot more controlling, which I actually do like to be a little bit more controlling in limited as opposed to constructed.
Exactly.
Give myself some more options, draw the game out more. I love getting into board stalls.
Yep. Yeah, I think Fornaro might have made a misplay there, just because if he waited until he had an additional mana, and with William with more cards in his hand, he could actually just kill them with the Trouble card.
Yeah.
Dealing 2 damage just to bring him to 3 doesn't really do too much.
So now you're going to see Huey play a Dread Mangler. Now that right now is a 3. It looks like it's a 3/3 haster, but actually the number of gates in play again is 4.
So is it 3/7 haster?
Yeah, so it's a 3/7 haster.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
And so Huey just attacks with all of his creatures again, because, again, Fornaro doesn't have any good blocks because of this Hold the Gates. This Hold the Gates, as innocuous as it may seem, giving all your creatures vigilance and +0/+1 for each gate you have. And again, this was a pretty bad card in its limited format. It's looking a lot better now. So Fornaro's going to activate the Sealed Mage. He's going to discard an Izzet Guildgate.
Did he draw a War Leader's Helix?
That's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like, right? If he did, that should be game.
Yeah, if that is a War Leader's Helix, that is going to wrap things up here, assuming Jensen doesn't have some sort of trick here. And you see, now Fornaro's deciding, all right, how do I want to block now that I've drew this War Leader's Helix?
Yeah,
just make sure I don't die.
Yeah, now definitely an interesting game here. I'm not sure. So it looks like he's just chumping, and he's going to take 7. So he's going to go to 1.
That's risky.
I mean, that's what it looks like, right?
If that's a War Leader's Helix, then this block is certainly risky right now. Because, we assume that the War Leader's Helix is going to get the job done. So, I mean, this is a little bit of a surprising block. He's shrugging his shoulders, wondering, do I want to block like this? Do I not want to block this? There's probably a little bit of communication with his teammates.
All right, so
maybe they're talking things over here. No?
Yeah, no. It looks like. All right, so he's making a couple more blocks here. Maybe he wasn't sure about what creatures were attacking, just because with vigilance, when the creatures are sideways, oh, that guy's attacking. But with vigilance, it could get a little bit confusing, especially when your whole team has vigilance.
Yeah.
Something you don't really see too often.
And so after the dust settles here, you're going to see some creatures die there on Fornaro's side. But I mean, again, if that's a Whirly, it's all he cares about is keeping his life total high.
Yeah, he just wants to try to dodge the green Peacekeeper. Will allow. Okay,
there's an Axebane Guardian. So Fornaro's going to draw a card. He's going to tap his mana.
I guess it's not a
okay. Yeah, it must not be.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it a little, right? Not sure. Yeah. Could be the 5-mana 5/3. Whenever you deal damage with an instant or sorcery, put 2 1/1 red and white haste tokers.
Yeah,
they kind of look like each other. That's a martial law, maybe. I still can't make it out.
Yeah, it's a Boros card. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not Warley's.
Yeah, not Warley's.
So if it were, he would have finished Jensen off. But at the end of the day, if that's not what it is, so Huey Jensen is going to win the match 2-0 over Peter Fornaro. Or excuse me, over Chris Fornaro.
Yes.
It's going to seal the match for Turtenwald, Jensen, and Duke, as Turtenwald and Peralta are going to finish things out here. You know, one of the things that people sometimes forget to realize as well when you're playing in a team tournament is that, you know, you have to finish out the match because of your tiebreakers.
Yeah, sure, yeah. You know, it is only going to be the third tiebreakers, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, second and third tiebreakers. Yeah. Not very relevant, but it will, you know, could play an effect later in the tournament.
Yeah. So as it stands.